Now, before I start this video, let me say that I do identify as a Christian. Let me get it out the way, because in this video, I will be coming for Christians because I have this annoyance with Christians when it comes to their critique of the arts. I think they critique a lot of artistic freedom, artistic expression. I don't think they understand a lot of artists' point of view when making things, so they're quick to deem it sacrilegious or blasphemous, right? The latest example of this is this movie coming out next year called The Book of Clarence. In The Book of Clarence, there's this guy played by Lakeith Stanfield. He is trying to emulate Jesus and the disciples. He's not envious, but he wants what they have, the adoration, the respect, all that. So he sets out trying to become a messiah of his own, right? And if you watch the trailer, you'll see that he uses his friend. You know, we all know the story of when Jesus, healed the blind and had them see. So he used his friend to do that, to act like, he healed his friend from blindness, and have all these things that you see in the trailer. And a lot of Christians saw that and they felt that it was blasphemous, sacrilegious, and all that. And they felt that the movie is making a mockery of Jesus. Now, I strongly disagree with that, because I feel like as a creator, as an artist, if I want to imagine this guy that lived in Jesus's time, that was envious of Jesus and wanted to emulate what Jesus was, and tried to come up off of it, and he was, a con artist, which we see today, I feel like I have the artistic right to do that, like to imagine that. That doesn't make it sacrilegious. I'm not. Everybody understands that this movie is fiction. I'm not presenting this movie as fact. If this movie was presented as fact, then maybe we can get into that conversation. But everybody knows that this movie, I think everybody understands that this movie is not fact. It is indeed fiction, but it's an imagination of what might have been in that time, because we don't know. Like in the Bible, a large chunk of Jesus's life is left out. They don't really go into detail about, the everyday man, which is the producer James Samuel said in a Vanity Fair article. He was like, I wanted to tell a story of the person who owned the hair salon who sold sandals. Those stories that really don't get extensively told in the Bible. So he's just imagining all these things, which I think he has the creative license to do. Now, another thing that's going on here, as far as the backlash goes, is that Jay-Z is a producer. And, everybody knows I'm a Jay-Z fan, so they might say, I'm just coming to defend him, yada, yada, yada. But the fact of the matter is, if you use Jay-Z and Beyonce's name, especially when it comes to things that's blasphemous or sacrilegious, then you're almost guaranteed to get clicks, to get views, to go viral. Let's just be honest. So there's that going on with it too. But I just want to, in the Vanity Fair article, it says, I have it right here. It says, though Clarence may be full of doubt about the Messiah in the beginning, he's forced to find his faith as the story moves on. The film doesn't make fun of religion or the biblical stories, but rather attempts to expand that world. It says it right there. People just do a little bit of research instead of just jumping to conclusions and all this that, people in the Christian world do all the time. Then you might see, like, it clearly says the man finds his faith, right? Although his selfish reasons for wanting to attain Jesus' level of fame and adoration and respect, those motives were selfish. But in the end, toward the end of the story, he's forced to grapple with faith and find his own faith, despite of his selfishness, which sounds like a biblical story in itself, right? So if he's, by the end of the movie, coming to grips with his faith and finding his faith, then what is sacrilegious about that? So let's stop being so fast to judge, and let's give creators and artists the room to express themselves. And, just because you don't understand it doesn't make it sacrilegious or blasphemous. Please stop with that. And please try to understand the artist's perspective. A lot of times the artists are not coming from a a place of evil or a place of being blasphemous or mocking religion. A lot of times, us artists, we just have an expansive mindset, and we have these images that we conjure up in our head, and we want to explore that. And I think, I'm a person, the reason I connected with this movie or the idea of this movie is because I'm a person that imagine like things that's not really mentioned in the Bible, like what might have been, like what was going on, Jesus doing all these things, and how people react. Did they have, that's I wondered that myself. So I think this film is going to explore that, and hey, and look at the cast. It's all black, they're all dark skinned people, which is probably uh reality of what was during that day anyway. So that's all I have to say on the book of Clarence. I hope you guys don't get all caught up in the blasphemous, the mockery, and all that from the trailer. Hope you guys go out and see the movie and get your own interpretation. If you actually see the movie and just don't stop at the trailer and then you still have that same opinion, then fine. At least you gave yourself, the opportunity to see the full thing, right? Instead of judging before. So yeah, that's all I have to say, guys. Just come on, Christians. Let's stop. Give artists the freedom to do what they do. Not all of this stuff is sacrilegious. Not all of it is blasphemous. So stop being so uptight. That's all.